We're beginning section 4 now, which is called Freeform Analysis of the DVD Rental Database. Now, what is this all about? What are we going to do? We're basically going to continue our sort of case study approach, and I just thought of some additional questions that represent complicated SQL that you're going to come across in the real world, tied into practical business questions. So really quickly, this video we're going to look at first order analysis. You know, somebody might say, hey, do people renting for the first time prefer any specific rating more, like PGR? Sometimes when you know what people are going to buy on their first order, marketing and branding can use that to focus the promotion on that kind of product. Then we'll continue with that sort of data set and say, based on the first rating they rented from, do they tend to spend more or less afterwards? So if I rent from R, does that mean my average lifetime revenue will be higher than somebody who rents from G? Or maybe people who rent from G means they have kids, and the kids like to watch a lot of movies, so they need to rent more. So we'll see. Then we're going to take a look at the top 5 highest grossing actors. What percentage of all customers rent from one of their films? That'll be interesting. And then we'll continue talking about actors. We'll look at revenue per actor, but we're going to do it on the basis of gross rental revenue per actor per film. So that'll be another interesting one. So first orders, do customers prefer any specific rating? What we're going to do based on all initial orders, is there really any preference for a specific type of rating? So it's pretty simple. This is kind of a warm-up outline of the work we need to do. Get the first orders, map those orders to the rating rented from. Our DVD database has 1 DVD per order. Out there in the wild, your order items table, there's a good chance that you're going to have more than 1 item per order. So you would have to come up with a way to handle that. We don't have to do that. And then we're just going to select the ratings and count the number of rows, because each order is essentially equivalent to 1 item. So without further ado, let's jump in PG Admin here. What I want you to do is to write some SQL to get a table that looks like this. We got the payment ID, the customer ID, the payment date, and their order number. We only care about the first orders for now. So we've done this before. You know, you can copy and paste the code you have, or you can try to do it without looking, however you want to do. I'm about to pull up the solution, so if you want to do it, stop the video. So this is kind of like what we've been writing all along. I have it as a common table expression with my with statement. When we run the code, you have an inner query here, which gives us every order number for every order partitioned by customer. And then I just wrap it in an outer query, and it drops it down, so I only have the first orders. Now, what we need to do now is map these orders, item that was rented. So if you recall, we need to do a couple of things. We need to go from rental to inventory to film. So, you know, this is good practice too. If you don't have to join lots of tables in your day-to-day, you know, this is a good database to do it from. So let's just start joining it. So we've got fo.order ID. Then we're going to say r.star for now, just to make sure it works. So how are we joining first orders and rentals? We have a rental ID in R, obviously, which is rental. But in FO, we actually don't have a rental ID, so I need to add it. P.rental ID. Now that'll become available within FO, right? So there's my rental ID. Equals FO.rental ID. And let me clean up the join here a little bit. Then we're going to join inventory. So join, and R rental has an inventory ID column. So let's see if this works, just to preview what we've done here. FO order ID does not exist. Right, it's called payment ID. So that's an honest mistake there. Okay, so the query's working. We have 599 rows because we have 599 customers. That looks good. Now, what do we really care about? We're still trying to get the movie rating, right? So at this point, expeditious for us to continue joining. We have a film ID column here, which is coming from inventory. So let's join film on f.filmid equals i.filmid, because notice how it's like FO, payment ID, and then everything from rental and then everything from inventory, dot star syntax. So now we've got film joined up, and let's add f dot star if it finds it agreeable. Alright, so let's keep going further over, and lo and behold, we do have a rating, which is a special data type that was created, an MPAA rating. I believe you can also sort by it, and it'll sort, interestingly enough, from G to NC17. Notice how it's not a timestamp, it's not text, it's not a vector, it's not numeric, it's an MPAA rating, which is fairly uncommon. Most people use the standard data types. So we have a table. All we really want is the rating and the count of the number of rows. So, we could do this pretty quickly here. So let's just say select t.rating count star from t, and we'll group by 1. There we go. Let's see if we wanted to get revenues real quick, right? I think there was probably a column in here for the amount. Whoops. It's getting mad because I'm highlighting one thing without the common table expression highlighted. It doesn't know that this is there. I think it's called payment amount. So we're going to sum that. And payment amount is coming from the payment table. So now I have to group by 2 things. So yeah, let's check it real quick. We need to find that right column. Oh, it's just amount. Had the wrong column name. T.amount. Let's just go back to scratch here. Aha! And as you can see, we never did take the amount. So we need to actually put that back up here. Undo what I did because it was actually useful. And this is kind of example of kind of the things that you battle out there. And t.amount, let's just make sure it's working. Yep, amount. It's telling me t.amount does not exist, right? Because I didn't select it here. There we go. So this was kind of my version of fumbling around a query where initially we did what we wanted to do, but then we set out to add an additional thing. And because I hadn't factored in that sort of data we wanted initially, it was sort of a clumsy approach to figuring it out. But there we go. Now we have our ratings. We have the sum of the first order revenue for those ratings. So, it would appear that for the most part, PG-13 is the most popular movie rating that people are renting from, followed by a close tie between R and NC-17, and then G and PG. So G is really not that popular, it would seem.